What's up with artists and musicians palaver when it comes to this thing called money? You go for a program, they give you 4 million, and you carry the team of 10 singers and musicians inclusive. You have 10 people.
Not pay them 40,000.
What stops you from giving them 1 million to share? Don't think going for any program in Nigeria without these musicians. That's nonsense.
Why there's so much hurting is because, first of all, we don't define why we are doing certain things. As a keyboardist or as a drummer, do you have your personal goal towards what you are doing? Are you just doing it because you love to do it? As one. Two, are you doing it because you want to grow in that career?
What's your view about musicians being paid in church, musicians and singers?
Truth is that I think I'm not on the fence. I'm on both sides. If you can pay your musicians, pay your musicians.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Talk Back. I go by the name Johnson Arize. Before we kick further, we have two amazing guests, and it's exciting to know that they are a couple happily married, doing the Lord's work.
Thank you, Lord.
In everything that they find themselves. So we're really going to talk more about dealing with health as a musician, combining family to ministry and other related things as such. So let's introduce the man in the house. So this man is someone that I've known over time, and I love the access to friendship. I love his transparency. I love the fact that he respects and honors people, and he's down to earth to the core, right? He's a very good music director, a drummer, prolific one, and he has a standard for music, for how music should be. So ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome to the house Mr. Ita.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, why would I celebrate a man like that without celebrating his wife? Man, if you hear this lady sing, if you hear this lady sing, Jesus, Kalabala. As they say, just to say, that's the next. I mean, so
Next generation.
I'm telling you. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mrs. Steffi.
Hello.
Yeah. So,
Hello. Thank you.
So before we keep for that, remind us again, how long have you been married?
We got married December 13th, 2020. This year is about 5th year, man.
5th year. Oh my God. I've got surprised that day. I'll be ready. I will fast. Take porch. Everything. So explain the journey fast. From the time you were single to this boy.
Very, very interesting question. So personally, music has been a journey for me because moving into Abuja after school and everything, I was serving in a ministry. I served there for a long time, but I wasn't really doing anything major. I was just doing choir stuff. And meeting my wife, I would say, it changed the trajectory for me because she was more with artists, the itinerary ministries of certain artists. For example, she was working with Pastor Elijah then, of which we both still work with him currently. Yeah. That's an amazing father that God has blessed us with. So
indeed.
He was the first artist, and I remember how I started working with him. And so when I wanted to, come out, like, let me go and meet artists to play for them, she held me back. She was like, no, it's not time. It felt so strange to me, like, let me be very vulnerable. Maybe this is the first time she's hearing this. I'm like, waiting to one they feel like, hey, this guy, what are you feeling like? Yeah. Yeah, feeling like Holy Spirit. Like in my mind, I know get my, but then we were not married then, right? No, we're not married then. We're just dating. So I obliged, and it took 2 years before eventually one ministration that I went with her for pastor, because I was always following her around, her ministrations, programs, and all that. And that particular day, she just told me that she feels that it's time I should go and tell pastor after the ministration that I should tell pastor that I want to work with him. And the rest is history. since that day. From there, other people saw me, reached out to work with them. So it's been an interesting journey, full of a lot of course, issues, but prominently, it's been very, very interesting. Very interesting.
So now let's enter into that, a lot of issues.
Hi.
So because I know that in that interesting journey, you've gone through a series of dramatic things with people, artists, choir people, and so what are your major observations and what do you think can be done about it? So let's start with your observations. What are your issues with, I wouldn't say it's personal, but let's say your issues, or what are the issues?
Okay, yes.
Going on in your experience so far with choir, with artists, and all of that.
Okay, let me start with choir. One of the major issues with choir is being this spirit of being lackadaisical about even your commitment to the choir. Talk less of your personal ambition. There's still both the church and the choir person have not been able to reach a balance, because it's more or less like if you want to serve yourself, you don't know how to balance yourself and still serve church, because it's possible. There are people doing it. It's as simple as just asking questions. Also, some churches can be so extreme that when you are doing your personal stuff, that's when they want to demand more from you. I just feel like God is not an author of confusion. So for me, that's one particular thing I've done over the years. With artists, musicians and singers that work with artists, I feel like one of the major issues that is really not spoken about is money, is finance. There's because that issue is broad on its own. From finance, you will get disrespect, dishonor, many things. So that financial, because if you check it, many of these successful gospel music ministers, even those that don't charge, they somehow has there's a system that they put in place that as long as that finance is very key, as long as the finance has been taken care of, there are really no other issues. Even if there are other issues of disrespect, you that is being disrespected, you will give an excuse for it, because this person, because of the massive investment that's been done on you or in you, you just know that, okay, this person has you. Is not carnal. And let me just say this, is not a carnal thing. Money is not a carnal thing in this our ministry. It's not a carnal thing. Like, we need to just break free from that mentality. So for me, if finance can be sorted out within, whether you don't charge, you charge, there has to be a running system for the ministry in itself to run smoothly. And the ministry is the people, because the ministry is not one spirit that is hanging around. The ministry is the people. So for me, those are the two things.
Okay. So lest I forget, this podcast is powered by Henessa Studios. I go again, Henessa Studios. So follow them on their social media platforms. On Instagram, it's at Henessa Studios. So as we were saying, we can talk about a lot from those two things, but let's enter the choir aspect first. So my question would be, in your dealings with the choir, because from what you mentioned, it seems there's no solid or quality administrative relationship between the church system and the choir. And that's an obvious thing. And it even happens, even not just among small churches, even the big ones that we look up to. And so before I ask this next question, I want to ask, what's your view about musicians being paid in church, musicians and singers?
Okay. Of course, as usual, this question is heavy. But truth is that I think I'm not on the fence. I'm on both sides. If you can pay your musicians, pay your musicians, and don't pay them with a side attraction expectation of I'm paying them, they should go overboard for you. If you cannot pay your musicians, be transparent enough to, and of course, you not being able to pay them is because you don't have enough to pay them. But you can pay them in opportunities that are not even within music. You can pay them. For me, it's not even money, it's value. Because once you just value these guys. I know churches that are fully on, like the guys are volunteers fully, but they are deeply committed because outside this music, their pastor is concerned about their life outside music. He's the kind of pastor that does not have money in millions like other pastors, but he has solid relationships and recommendations that have done a lot for these guys. So for me, I think it's beyond money. But if you can pay, please pay. Because for me, for example, now in this studio, see these two, see my son and my daughter now.
Yes.
Running these two people alone.
It's a lot.
Well,
so if a church needs your services, definitely, and based on their demand when it comes to excellence.
I'm not expensive. Small 1 million, just
small one. Okay, so that's interesting. But there's something I picked from what you said. So it's just beyond the money.
It's beyond money.
The church should value them. And I think that's an observation I've personally seen, because I feel that even most churches that they feel they pay musicians a lot, I still feel they lack that administrative relationship, because when they feel they've given them enough, they feel they are being hired. You see them as
hirelings.
So like hirelings.
No.
Like after all, what are we paying you for? Insults, disrespect, dishonor. And for musicians and singers who have at least a small sense of worth and know that they have like future ambitions beyond that, they can't take it. Except for those who don't have future ambitions.
That's why you keep saying people just leave, because there's a limit to everybody. I always tell my wife that every man or woman has a limit. A guy, you could take this. Can I speak pidgin?
Yeah, sure.
You get how you could take this disrespect person. Because if you push me to the wall, at that point I may even forget I'm Christian or whatever. I now punch. So is it that I punch you or I respect you enough to just push you away and leave?
I'm telling you.
So
because sometimes when they make those kind of derogatory statements like, "What are we paying you for another?" I remember one particular church I served. What made me resign? I know there were a lot of back and forth from my end as well, because I have my own personal issues with them. They had their own personal issues with me. But what made me resign as at that time was when the MD mentioned to me that, look, if you know you can't do this thing, just quit. Stop wasting church money.
If the person has stopped at just quit, it's
that
a
makes
totally
sense.
different.
But when he's saying stop wasting church money, I'm like what?
Like it sounds like wasting taxpayers' money. Which kind?
I was broke then. But
what you mean broke, as in broke financially broke?
Yeah, I'm broke financially broke.
Okay.
I was broke then, but I couldn't allow that statement. I couldn't swallow that statement. They felt by making that statement I won't resign. Probably they feel that if he leaves, where is really fall back to. The next day they saw my letter of resignation. They thought I was joking.
Okay.
At that point, maybe subsequently later, they were coming to meet me with brotherly love. Bruv, are you sure this thing will, work? Think about your life. Think about it. I said, don't worry, my future is in God's hands.
Let me just even add this. I was telling one of my wife's friend yesterday, because my wife has ladies. I mean, if I call it, you'll be shocked. Ladies that call her, ministers that call her for counsel.
Wow.
And there's something that I chipped into the lady. I was like, and I want to just say to musicians, ministers, even pastors, if you take it from this humble drummer, that it's God that takes care of people. It's not any system.
Yeah,
it's not any church. It's God. So if you have the slightest what's the word now? Babe, help me. You complete my words. Just
definitely. One shot chase it out.
So if you have the slightest premonition or inclination from your spirit that leave this place, see, sometimes just leave. God will take care of you. God will take care of you. I'm just trying to add this because of what he said. God will not. I don't think one of God's training is. I personally believe, this is my opinion. I don't believe that God wants you to be disrespected as a form of training. God is not that. God is not that petty. They say, no, let them abuse you so that you will know how it feels. Then you will. No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I don't think anybody can even grow up in a toxic environment.
No,
I've said that over and over time. If they should prove it otherwise, I'll stop saying it. But until then, no. So, with all of this that seems to be going on, because I know you've really gone through a lot as regards to that aspect.
Yeah.
So, how are you able to heal from it, because this kind of thing can be very dicey.
It's very dicey.
One place that you can get your heart contaminated, and to even think if God exists, not be even village people. Sometimes I people say, sometimes village people, I said, no, for my village, they don't even know me. I don't even sure say they send me. They don't even know whether,
The village, them, they 2 days busy self with farm and
maybe when they want put mass on my matter, when I want to come marry or something. But I don't even think, but a lot of the issues we go through as musicians,
yes,
the best that I can remember, has a lot to do with church.
It's true.
And
it's true.
God has helped a lot of us to heal. So I want you to share your healing experience. How were you able to heal from all of those things that happened?
Okay. I've not stopped healing. I'm still healing. One of the persons that God used to help me was my wife, who was also hurting, but she was. That's what I must say. Marry well, marry well, marry well, because God used her massively to help me to heal. But the thing about healing is that it's not a one-time thing. That's just it. It can be, there's some supernatural moments that can happen. That's if you have a prayer life and all that.
Exactly.
That you can have an encounter. But, there's sometimes that it's so deep that even when you feel like you've healed, one day, person will just say something, it will just trigger it.
Just trigger it.
So you need to first be patient with yourself to heal. You need to accept that you are hurt. Accept, and truth be told, this church hurt thing is not necessarily always the church. But the musicians, you still get your own issues. So you also need to first reach within yourself and say, okay, me too, I get problem. Let me first start from that place, heal from that place. You understand?
Yeah.
Then fast forward to the church aspect. One of the ways that helped me is sowing, giving gifts.
Exactly.
It's really helped me. Then conversations, confrontations. Why did you? This is how I felt.
So it's just essential that one has to heal.
Yeah.
Even me, to my healing journey, there's some things I had to unlearn and relearn again. So let's go to artists. I mean, looking at the saga that is happening on social media, I would personally, I would appreciate if that didn't come out, because issues like that, we are looking at how to salvage the situation so that the body of Christ will not be dragged in the mud. But then again, I'm also thinking, okay, to an extent, I think it's necessary for this kind of issues to be out so that people will know that there is money in music. There is money. Money day. If you just know how to put in the work and understand the business, there is money in music. So my question there is, what's with the issue? Because I know artists, they have issues a lot as regards to record label thing and all of that. Now we're going to talk about that if we still have time. But what's up with artists and musicians palaver when it comes to this thing called money?
So one thing that I know that we have known over the years is that it's demonic. It's the spirit of greed. It is very it's a serious stronghold, because before you say, oh, this artist had money before he started music. Now it applies to both, whether the person had money before they did music, or they were poor and they did music. It's a decision to know that this thing is real, this spirit of greed is real, and fight it even before you blow.
Exactly.
Like, let me use my wife for example now, and I'm going to be as vulnerable as possible. I'm a very giving liberal person, but I was of the opinion that let's not be doing too much for producers, like, all these split things. I didn't used to believe that, it's something that they should.
Yeah. Because
I'm paying you this much rather than I'm giving you split on top and all that. But over time, this woman, marry well again. This woman will say, I'm like, babe, but these songs, we're not sure whether I can even go anywhere. She will say, please, let's give them split. Because it's after a while she now told me that she wants to build herself. She wants to build this thing, this structure into her core system. So that when the $1 million, $5 million come, she will not struggle to say, still take your 20% split or take, you get. So if you study music and you're just getting the hundreds of thousands, let's say, let me just give you a clear cut, like a scenario. Maybe, for example, now a artist goes for a program, beginning stage of your ministry, they give you 200K honorarium. You carry like 4 musicians, 3 BGVs. What would be seen as okay now is that you give everybody 10K. That's out of 200K, you've given 70K and you have 130. Let's say you pay your tithe of the entire 200K. That's 20K.
So that's
left like 110. No problem. But that same artist now can be given 10 million naira for the first time. He will still use that mentality of 10K and be given. So at that point, the only thing to call what has played out is greed. Meaning that you don't want to be, what's the word now? Let me just call, it's a good example. Let me call my very loving big brother, Moses Ako.
Okay.
Moses Ako did a recording with us, paid us a very reasonable amount of money.
Great.
Still went as far as giving us splits, which is a very rare thing to do. Thank you, Moses. Thank you so much. It's a very, very rare thing to do. Like, there's some people, like some jokes that me and my friends will make, like, if some people do this thing, their neck will break.
Exactly.
Like, because it will take them, like, it. So, I feel like it still drags down to valuing people. Beyond, because if this person was not your drummer or your this thing, how would you value them? Even if you like, you need to just
they're not working for you and all of that.
You need to value them. You need to just value them because, like I said, it's not really money. But of course, money is one of the measurements of value now inside this our ministry. So I feel like that's a key driver.
On that idea of artists having to pay musicians, where it's really a serious issue in this country. I mean, if there are artists that are doing musicians so well, it's just a few. And I don't want to mention names because, in America, we can call names.
Yes.
But whether we like it or not in Nigeria, not everybody's matured.
Yes.
Not everybody's matured.
Yeah.
But I strongly recommend, now this is my own personal recommendation. I strongly recommend that. I mean, as an artist, when you go for meetings, depending on what they give you as an honorarium, be transparent enough to let your musicians know this is the amount. But then I know you have future plans. You have plans on expanding your ministry, doing stuff with them. So at least 35% of that honorarium should go to the musicians. 35%. I mean, if let's say, for instance, you go for a program, they give you 4 million and you carry the team of 10, singers and musicians inclusive, you have 10 people.
Not pay them 40,000.
What stops you from giving them 1 million to share? You have 4 million. 3 million to you as the artist. And I mean, come to think of it, this must be a church that has invited you, paid for your logistics, but not just for the musicians, hotel bills, hospitality, everything, feeding. What stops you from giving at least 35%? I don't even know if 1 million is even like 35% of 4 million, but maybe around that figure. What stops you if they give you 4 million? What stops you from giving them 1 million? So that the 10 of them can share 100K for that program. And I think that's reasonable. Like, that's a reasonable amount. But when they give you 4 million, you're giving them 10,000, 15,000. And then there are some artists that they don't even pay you per show. They pay you per trip. So depend on the management and calculations. Probably in a single trip, probably when you go for a city, they give you, maybe they are going for different programs in that city.
They're paying for the city.
They pay for the city. So it's like a trip for them. So in that city, probably they just give you 20,000 after going for 4 to 5
And there's this thing I've noticed also that it's also a problem where the artist will tell you things like, this has not happened to me, but I've heard it from my friends, where they will tell you things like, and they're paying you this amount because some of the money, logistics for rehearsals. But I'm like, come on, like, how much is rehearsal? How much is how much is? It doesn't make any sense. These are people that see. If you're a music artist and see, if you, like I said, valuable. If you are focused beyond what you're paying these guys to wanting to see how you can invest in their life, for those that are single to get stable, get married, and be like unconsciously. I feel like the resources will just start coming because the money is a spirit. Oh,
I'm telling you,
money is a spirit. So if for example now there's this pureness of your heart for like you have value for your guys, it's playing out everywhere now. I like there are probably examples that people, even people who don't know Uncle Dunsin and Pastor Nat, people that don't know them closely are always speaking good of them because it has exuded from inside. What was inside within them and their team is now outside. You can just see the pureness, even to as little as, if you notice, like for Uncle Dunsin now, there's a pattern. You stressing how he was taking one musician to travel. Before you know it, increase. Like it's what without talking to him, I know that this man is investing a lot.
I like the way he does his ministry because even from his music, the way he arranges his songs, that alone has passed a message to anybody inviting him, knowing that look, you can
my guys must be
with me. It's in the music. It's kind of song administration. It's not just something he will just, I mean, if I thought you will ever catch him working with different set of people, trust me.
Those people will tell you themselves after what this is main guys have done.
Exactly. And probably maybe their management issues as regard to visa and all of those things, which that one is understandable by everyone.
Yeah.
But majorly, let's come to Nigeria. If you ever find Dunsin going for any program in Nigeria, without his musicians, that's not Dunsin.
No,
that's not Dunsin.
That's Dunsin.
He must, because his structure to his music administration serves as, without him talking it, that serves as a message that look, I can't go without my musicians. Unlike other artists, because of this same greed you're talking about, there's some places they will go alone. And as an artist, once you just go alone to a certain place, that's how they will just respect. Because number one, musically, I'm not even sure if you're even putting in the work. Most of your songs are basically just strings. I'm not against that.
Yes.
If that's your authenticity, I am not against that. But when it comes to the productivity of the music, in most cases, you just be going there alone.
You are actually depriving the people of your full expression.
Exactly.
You are depriving them. You are depriving them.
Imagine they call an artist and they say, "Oh, sorry, we can't afford you. Just come alone," and you go alone because of the greed. You say, "At least make I just collect this one for myself." That's the way they will treat you.
There's something that God told me to tell someone, and God is a music minister. God said I should tell him that, because he is a very humble man, and it should even before the church will ask him, he will ask you that, can you afford to bring me and my team? And some churches now who want to be very, not the pastor of the church, maybe the person making the call, wants to be very, let me help the church save cost.
Okay.
When the artists ask this question, they want to go like, please sir, if you can just come with maybe yourself or maybe you and your keyboardist, or we have drummers here, we have drummers,
they are good, they are solid.
So God told me to tell this music minister, and I told him that God said, whenever a church is inviting you, it's not them that is inviting you. I am the one that would have instructed them. Of course, they're the ones that invite you for clouds, for when they use you, just you are trying to let them invite you. But God has told them that when they're inviting you, see that's me inviting you. You cannot be trying to help me save cost. I don't deplete. Like if you take from God, it's not like God is one kind of this thing. When you take, He will not reduce. Take, He will not reduce. No, God know the finish.
God is not suffering from bankruptcy. So. Yes, not something from bankruptcy.
So for well, let me just stop there.
But so honestly, it also factors a lot into the productivity of their music, because a lot of time where they don't get to put in the work into their music, they just do it shabbily. Maybe God just give them one small blow, and that small blow is to let them know that look, when God opens the door for you, God is trying to let you know that look, you can be better than this.
Yes.
I'm just showing you this so that you know who you are. You know that you're not supposed to be at this level. But they just see that as breakthrough, favor, and they just glamour around this for you instead of putting in the work.
I'm telling you. And also, yes, I was going to add this.
Yeah.
When you move with your team, the value you are giving to them that is not even a spiritual thing is you are fulfilling prophecy. You are giving them access to nations.
Exactly.
Like, see, this thing, you will not know the ripple effect benefit it will do for you as the music minister. It's you are fulfilling prophecies. Literally, you are fulfilling their mother's prayer, their father's prayer, And there are rewards that are piled up for you in heaven. Like, see, it's just a lot. It's broad. Let me let my madam.
You don't put in the work. Oh yes.
Like,
so we're really on the issue of artist relationship with their musicians. Like, what would you expect an artist should do in terms of taking care of their singers and musicians? You know, I know you are experienced in that direction. So
say, mama.
I should.
My wife. Let me just say this. My wife. If you check her shoulder, you will see teardrops of many people. Many people, men. Like, I mean, guys, ladies, please, you guys come talking to me now. I also do counseling.
Oh God, I can tell that. I mean, for that to happen, that means she has gone through a place of thorough healing.
My goodness.
For people to lean on her shoulder like that, healing. So, share healing for us to want to heal.
Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Sure.
Yeah. So, about this whole issue, we are going to talk about it. Jesus will come.
Definitely.
And things will still be going down. But personally for me, I just had to, tell myself, one, why am I working with you? Because I feel like why there's so much hurting is because, first of all, we don't define why we are doing certain things. As a keyboardist or as a drummer, do you have your personal goal towards what you are doing? Are you just doing it because you love to do it? That's one. Two, are you doing it because you want to grow in that career? Because if you want to grow in that career, of course, you will have to make... that means you're going to be working with artists for a long time. If you're just doing it because it's an outlet or something like you love to do sometimes, maybe you will just stop at choir. I don't even think you will even make it to artist teams.
Artist level self.
As
a choir member.
you go stop for choir member. But when you define certain things like this, you know that everything that's coming as hot or anything that's been thrown at you, it will help you process it better. Because there's your eyes are on a prize, like your eyes are somewhere that you're going to. This hot thing is not going to stop. It's not going to stop. That's truth. Because one of the reasons why it's like that is because sorry, my baby is going to be
definitely
sharing.
Let her share.
The reason why is because all of us will have different values.
Yes.
People grow up with different backgrounds and values, how they see certain things. Then the artist you're going to work with as a musician or a singer has his own values, consecrations, and all of those things. You too, you are coming from, your own. So it's definitely going to, have a kind of clash. But when the clashes come, I feel one of the important things that we must learn is know how to deal with conflicts. Whether you are the leader, you are the artist. I humbly will say this, whether you are the artist or you are the band member, musician, we need to learn how to solve conflicts. Some of us, we don't know how to. And that's in itself, in itself, we will expand everything. Because something would have just trashed. We will now wait. We'll hold it just with all manner of religious terminologies. We use it to hold it. And one day, somebody has held like bag full of 5 years of, bass. One day now that person will come bust. You would not be wondering like, this small thing, how far? How do people get here, So that is one of the biggest things that we have to, deal with. Hurt is not going to stop. People are not going to stop talking to you in a certain way, especially because of how God. Some people think that you are helping them as a musician or a singer. They think like they are helping you.
There you are. Give you the exposure.
Some people now, some leaders who think they are helping your life, like you should be indebted to them. Some other people on that feel like, now we they help you. Like, so, thank you. So, the thing will just be expanding like that. But if you have a goal, no matter what anybody said to you, don't let it get to you. Don't let it break your spirit. In short, I saw a post last night
by our apostle.
Apostle
We are children. We're enlightened.
He said something yesterday. 2 classes of people that can crush you with words. People you look up to.
Yes.
And you reverend, you honor. They can say certain things that the devil will use it. In short, someone was speaking to me last night about this, that he was somebody that is supposed to be head over her saying,
I'm telling you.
Her pastor.
He's saying to her, she was really crying. I was like, baby, you have to say it like this, say it like this. Say like, don't let it break your spirit. Because once it breaks your spirit, in short, that's the aim of the devil.
Yes.
Exactly.
And another thing is that you really, really need to know that Satan does not like this your ministry.
I thought ministry
Satan don't like your ministry at all.
Ministry by which God used you to replace him.
I'm telling you. I think I saw a post yesterday. The lady was talking about how music people don't know that they take it as what we do, but they don't know that it's a weapon.
It's a weapon, yeah.
So if it's actually a weapon, AGL, against the devil,
yes,
that means it's an attack for the devil. Like Apostle said that, like, some of us are receiving more attack than pastor.
Exactly.
So now, like, now you the field. You are the one that is like you are raging war like this against the kingdom of darkness. He doesn't like it. He's going to weaponize every little thing.
The devil does not like when you die open symbol. Does not like
it. Even if it's from your leader, from the artist they are working with, he will use every possible way to hurt you. So, like I was saying earlier, like if you know certain things like this, when the hurts come, you go just trash and throw away and say, this thing, I no go face you like this.
Exactly.
Or you still face, because that's another way that the devil will religiously keep you. You have to look for resolutions. And you know that you talk to the person no go agree. Talk to the person when go fit talk to the person. But no go spread and they tell everybody. See
this person.
That one, and they will call say you because gossip.
Yes.
But these people they connect.
They connect.
All of them they connect. So look for the best way to approach the matter. But leave it resolved, not unresolved, because unresolved, after a while it will lead to explosion and more hurts and deeper hurts, and Satan is waiting for that to use it against you.
Let me add to this thing that she said. Let me give my personal experience. I grew up in a very healthy home. I mean, healthy. How father, mother, children, nanny. I went to private school. So my idea of resolving conflicts, the world, I should not say the world, the gospel music industry has successfully told me that what I grew up with is nonsense. Because this is my resolve. If my brother hurts me, I will not confront them. I will go and tell my dad or tell my mom. I will report. I will report it.
Yeah.
So from the churches to the artists I work with, if I have any issue, I don't confront you. I will tell the artist or the pastor. And now, first problem, which God, for the third time I'm saying this on this podcast, marry well.
Wait, let me just pause it there.
Noted.
Don't hunt people with marry well.
Okay.
Of course, marry well. But I feel like what you should say is that have someone you can listen to.
Yes. But let me know my thoughts. Oh, that's not she. I've lost my thoughts.
No, you can't lose your thoughts. Wait, I just stop saying marry well. No. So you can't lose your thoughts.
So I was going to say that I was used to reporting to, from that to moment, I will start reporting to leadership artists. But now, even some leadership, not necessarily pastors or some artists, also they are humans.
Yes.
So we place so much expectations on how they handle informations. let me tell you the chain of how some things happen. You may tell a pastor, tell a leader that you feel like is in authority that you should report this issue to. They will tell their wife. The wife will tell her friend.
Tell you.
And as
Charlie,
talk is even everybody's mouth, it's your name that is going with it. Ita said this. This one said this.
Please don't tell anybody.
Please
don't tell anybody. Please don't tell anybody. No. Everybody say, please don't tell anybody.
The shock when it comes back to you, when the less somebody else like now calls you out, you'll be like, but I told just this person, I reported this thing to leadership. That's what I thought I did. You know, but you cannot go and start explaining to 52.8 billion people. No, this is not what I mean. So the problem that I have personally had, this is my vulnerable story, is that I've been in this kind of web for a long time.
Yes.
That's giving me a name. So most times, I just and another thing again is that I now also have this weakness of easily trusting people.
Yeah.
Easily trusting. So musicians, this is not peculiar to me. I know a lot of musicians that are in this way because
it's a general thing that people go
our
through.
ministry is a ministry of there's going to be a lot of talk and this and that. Let me just tell you the truth. If you focus on your craft,
focus.
Just say that's rehearsal. As I'm going, as I'm finishing the rehearsal, I could just hail my guy. You're not keeping malice to anybody. You're not trying to big focus. Just once you focus that, from there, you know, you become so valued that your schedules will not be clashing.
Yes.
From one reason, you don't have time to anybody to talk anything.
Very busy.
Right now, there's something I do maybe to help somebody. If I respect you so much and I cannot tell you that this talk, I don't want to get involved in this talk. Well, this will help you from a lot of hurt. Be saying to just have one epic line, and my epic line is, that's true. Okay, not true. Okay, no, yeah, that's true. You will know that I'm not interested in your talk. You know. And this thing now, if you come here and I'm saying to you, just don't because I'm tired of trying to explain myself, which is what I'm saying is for many musicians, they are tired of trying to explain that this is not the intention. This is not how I said it. Just remove yourself from that place. Just focus on your drumming, your singing, just focus, create value, and move on. Simple.
That's that.
Simple.
They should have that time to even create value, because if you're looking at it on the other hand, some musicians are fighting themselves. Some singers are fighting themselves. That's a good story.
When you say some, you make it light.
Okay, making them. Most singers are fighting themselves.
Yes.
Most musicians are fighting themselves.
The war is serious.
The war is serious.
Sad to say, one of the catalysts to these things it's not just that they will sit down and just fight themselves. There's one authority figure or people that will create this competition spirit.
Yes.
Imagine somebody saying, this person should be the one singing for the next 2 months. You know, no explanation like, okay, you know what, let's train this person, let me give up for the next 2 months. You know, be explicit. Because, see, human beings are human beings.
Yeah.
Thoughts go come out. I was playing well. Why say I should not play again for them?
When they see somebody that they are loyal to, that they see as a benefactor, they stay there for our Lord and Savior. I mean, they can go as length as backstabbing themselves. This one will say, pastor, you should call this person. The other person say, pastor. Everybody just wants to be loyal. Everybody just wants to be in the pastor's home.
The pastor's favorite.
Exactly, pastor's favorite. And this is a post I made recently. Like, churches should stop favoritism.
I'm telling you.
Either you give them equal amount of respect and fairness, or don't do anything at all.
Yes, that's true.
So that people not just have that unhealthy competitive spirit, because at the end of the day, it leads to nowhere. That individuates them from what God has in store for them.
And they lose focus.
If they lose focus, and they will not do that thing for years, or for how much. So the same breed too that goes, amongst artists, it goes amongst musicians and singers.
Actually starts from choir.
I'm telling you, choir is the foundation.
With mic.
It started from choir, from microphone.
I'm telling you.
How much the pastor sent last week? A pastor did not even say he should give us something. That's how they shed money. They don't even call me.
They will call me.
Like, that thing, this before I even graduate to artists.
I'm telling you.
It started from choir.
Because those are the choir members.
Yes.
And that's because they will get interest for choir.
That's it.
See,
no, that's so, they established.
Sorry, let me just deviate. This thing, all this whole podcast will be would be useless if I don't say this thing, which is all these are battles. Now, spiritual battle first and foremost.
First,
You must know how to. You must be praying. Be praying.
pray.
Yeah. See, if you're in a church that doesn't, buttress on prayer, because the strength and wisdom to trash all these issues that we're saying here is first from a place of prayer.
Yes.
You must pray.
Definitely, prayer is important.
I'm telling you, and I'm happy because I've seen like mans like myself, like yourself. There are musicians that God is grooming in this season of our life that are going beyond their instruments.
Exactly.
I'm seeing musicians, I'm seeing drummers like, let me just call one, Kelvin, CCI.
Oh.
He's doing he's consistent in his worship meetings.
Exactly.
Like, see, Baba,
it's just beyond
express yourself, but you must express from what God has told you in that place of prayer. You must pray. You have to pray. You have to
let me add to it, because it may be dicey, because there are churches that don't joke with prayer.
Yes.
And in such churches, these things happen right under.
Yes.
The fact that prayer is a pillar in that ministry. These things still happen.
I'm going to say that it may not still really be the church. It's still going to burn down to the musicians. Because
exactly.
Your church can be praying. Your motive of being there and say, make them see me, make them
pray. So, I mean, this is so much to do, but at the end of the day, we just have to learn to heal, pray, then see our life beyond just rendering services. Take our lives valuable. That's why we just have to put in the work. So, to go into the next thing, we can just use this one to just round up. Let's talk about family. Now, I'm coming from because I want to understand, how do you guys balance family and ministry? Now, let me give a short journey of my life. There was a time, when I was, of course, at the time I was playing keyboard at that stage. This is around 2004, 2005, 2006. There were times where church would need my services. I was still young, living under my parents, and my parents were like, "You're not going anywhere." So it was more like an issue, but I understand that my parents were looking out for me. So then, when the church learns that, okay, I know if you come because my parents know if you allow me to come, I like the way the pastor will assemble his associate pastors, some leaders. They will
come and see your parents.
Come and see my parents. Just come together, greet them, maybe get a bottle of wine or something.
Wow.
Just greet them, apologize if possible. If there's anything we've done, we are sorry. Your son is important to us. He's also a part of the ministry. If you can, that one will just solve my parents. That time, say choir. If someone's not feeling fine, after service, they will just march.
Let's go.
Let's just go. We'll march with our uniform like that, white, black. Like that. Let's go and visit the person and everything. That sense of family value was there.
Yes.
That time.
Yes.
I really can't say about now. Because right now we've had issues with her. If he wants to go, let him go. If he wants to go, let him go. Go and want to replace you and all of that. Demands in family can be very, very tough. And biblical standards, God placed family before church. God places family above church. In fact, Bible made reference to not appointing anybody as a leader without family's permission or family's consent. Because for any ministry that God calls you to, family has to be involved. God cannot call you into a ministry that will take away your family involvement. If there's an issue like that, definitely it seems to be some level of dysfunctionality from the family. And I pray for anybody going through that, God will give you the grace to go through it. God will give you the grace to heal.
Man.
So, but my major question is, how can one balance family with church or family with ministry?
So for me, first and foremost, for me and my wife, our faith, our religion in the context of this conversation, we're a global family.
Exactly.
In short, even the unsaved, Jesus came to die for everybody. Jesus came to die for his brothers and his sisters. So first of all, I first see that first. Then secondly, to our small unit of our family, me personally as head of the home, God has given me instructions. In short, like every year, in short, randomly he does that. And one thing that God has told me is that my children are for him. My wife, myself, like we exist because of him.
Exactly.
We are for him. So anything that has to do with God for us is priority, first and foremost. So coming to the core thing, let me use one particular one, for example now. Let's say husband, wife, the family that the husband is non-musical, the wife is the one that is an artist, blah, blah, blah. Is evil and wickedness for the man that you know that this woman, this is what she does. Let's say you carry him or she go concerts, program, came back, because this is one of the major issues. This thing I'm talking about now, where the wife come back late from a program and you still expect her
to
cook, possibly even want to have sex with you. No, let me just talk. I'm married, so let me just talk that one.
We'll
you know,
it's
it's insensitive.
Yeah.
It's because there's balance to everything. There's balance to everything, because if anyone that is doing that, obviously, if you check, he's not completely involved in that woman's ministry. And there's a post you made recently, I think yesterday, and it helps this conversation, which is that if you have to cut down or stop on what you are doing for God because of your partner, that means maybe it's possible that you married the wrong person. Because your partner is supposed to, like, one would chase 1,000, two 10,000. So it should be the case. So for me and my wife, we don't take ourselves too seriously as per home chores and this one. Of course, there's a system.
Those ones are basic. Yeah.
But we will come back. Before we come back, maybe more branch buy for good job. Like, you know, like there's no need to be creating unnecessary scenarios to prove that I'm a husband. And you're a wife. There's no point. So we balance it. Sometimes it's not easy. You know, let me just even say this. We've married for 5 years. In these 5 years, God has led us to sow our cars twice. It has been tough. It has. Because both prices, you guys should take care of yourself. It has been tough for us, but
yes,
we for the joy that was said before, God has given us car the first time. God has given us the second time. Then is it the third time that he will now fail? So between that time of not having and when we'll have a car that will make things easy, we rejoice in every pain and everything. So when you are doing these kind of things together, there are many arrows that the devil is throwing that way. You will just be slapping into, even without looking at it. So for me, it's very easy to balance family. It's still it starts from the point of even valuing what your woman is doing. It's even more I feel like it should be easier for a couple that, like me and my wife now, that are doing the same thing. We're into music together. It should be easier. But it's always dicey when the husband is 9 to 5, the wife is doing this, or the wife is 9 to 5 and the husband is a musician. That one self even bad, because some women can be saying, I'm the one that is, because truth be told, based on what we don't see, the woman is the one that is running the family. So it takes a very disciplined woman first to even, despite your 9 to 5 and your salary, still submit. And you know, so let me just stop here, sir. There's a lot to say.
Especially those places where music director don't marry, or music director is single, but most choir members, because of their commitment to family, seems to discount their commitment to choir. Like, I mean,
let me my wife answer that one.
A lot happens. Music directors we don't marry, or music directors we don't single. Music directors we don't marry. We're like, let's do this thing sharp. I have a wife that's waiting for me. You know. So what would you say about that? Can you help with the balance?
What do you think, babe?
I think, like my husband said, it all boils down to the individual and what their perspective about the work at hand is. Like my husband said, if it's priority, then I think that every other, like, you make decisions that work around it if it's priority. If it's not priority to you, you will see it lightly.
Yeah,
exactly.
And that in itself can even cause commotion around it.
For example, after this podcast, I'm going for a rehearsal that my wife is not singing in the rehearsal.
And I have to stay.
She's going to stay with me
with the children.
Yeah, want to save cost and like so
if I'm not understanding, there's going to be.
You know what she will say? Can ensure that we're in the house.
Understand. I am learning. Wherever you are, take notes. Oh my God.
The crux of everything is just understanding and communication.
Yes,
exactly.
The right communication.
So this has been a lot of insights in this single podcast today. For me, that's God, I beg you. So much you are seeing this. It's done. Plenty things.
Chinyere arrange
Just
too far.
Why was her name
No. Just Saba. Who will marry the Chinyere now?
All right, guys. So thank you so much. Definitely, the episode keeps getting better and better and better. Share your reviews on this in the comment section as soon as you watch this. We hope to get your reviews. Thank you so much, and thank you, Mr. Ita. And
Yes,
Mr.
thank you, sir. Thank you for having us.
Can't you see? I mean, speaking to you don't even tell this stuff. Inside the script, don't worry, you will take the mic.
Please, sorry, I want to just say one last thing. He
Okay.
didn't have me to do this, but I feel led my spirit to say this. Please, you see things like this, it's just support. I mean money, support, send money. Please, support, I beg you. So that we can be hosting the people that you actually want. We know that in another 1 year, no problem. But you know, so that can bring in our daddies, them Uncle Dozy
so
and
more
Pastor
people
Nat
are
to share their insights.
More people will come.
Please,
Definitely.
please.
This year, I'm even looking forward to having somebody like Bishop Oedipo.
My God, Pakuti,
Because
it's done.
There's nothing that cannot
I've
be done.
heard
Sir.
him preach. I've heard him, say good stuff that, of course, a lot of people in the blogs on social media, they seems to misinterpret that. That's why they drag it.
Yeah.
But I want to know his perspective when it comes to music.
Yes.
Church, I really want to. I don't think he has really said anything
About that.
Yes, and I look forward to it. Like, I so look forward
It's
to
done.
it.
You will see it on this
Well done.
podcast.
Definitely. So thank you, guys. God bless you. Have a wonderful time.